Hello students, today also we are going to continue with some drugs and their uses. The first one is antihistamines. So antihistamine means already we have histamine group. We are going to control or stop the action of histamine. That's why we have the name antihistamines. See, block histamine release from histamine 1 receptors, so which is blocking the histamines. So what is the work of a histamine? Which provide relief from the allergic infection, right? So we know allergy. Because of allergy, I went to doctor, he gave cetirizine. So particularly the cetirizine tablet, very familiar. Okay, so because of histamines which may produce the growth of that germs. Okay, so we can block that histamine group by using this drug antihistamine. Okay, so example for antihistamine, very well known example, that is cetirizine. Some other examples, levocetirizine, cetirizine. Some other example also we have. Okay, so just think, antihistamine means which drug used for allergy infection. Okay, the next one, antimicrobials. So what is antimicrobials, right? See, we have two type of antimicrobials. One is beta lactams, the other one is microlidids. So what is antimicrobials? What is the work of antimicrobials? See, inhibit the bacteria action. First one is beta lactam, which inhibit the production of protein in the cell wall of bacteria. So see, directly we cannot fight with with the arms. Okay, see, that is also one type of chemical reaction. Bacteria also producing the protein themselves. So the protein production of the bacteria is controlled by these antimicrobials, right? Then automatically, because of a loss of protein, it could not produce the protein, it will die itself. So inhibit bacterial cell wall biosynthesis. Here cell wall biosynthesis is inhibited by beta lactams of antimicrobials. The next one is microlidids. Microlidids, which targets the ribosomes of bacteria. See, bacteria also having ribosomes, all the small parts of cell. Okay, so the ribosome activity is inhibited by the microlidids, so the action of bacteria becoming inactive. So these are the two, we can say, antimicrobials. So particularly for bacteria, right? Biles means we may be a treatment for bacteria. Okay, so bacteria action is inhibited by two different antimicrobials. Some example we will see. Well known example for beta lactam, penicillin, and ampicillin. Some example for microlidids, erythromycin. This tablet you may remember. Okay, erythromycin. And the another one is azithromycin. See, erythromycin, azithromycin. See, these tablets you can remember, which is used for skin infection. Okay, see, now we will see the uses of antimicrobials. First one is beta lactam, skin infections, and then tendal infection, then respiratory tract infection. See, breathing, respiratory tract infections, then pneumonia, urinary tract infection. All the things we can use these beta lactams. Next, here also treatment for respiratory tract infection, general gastrointestinal infection, so intestine infection, then skin infection. So particularly erythromycin, azithromycin used in the skin infection. Both we can use for skin infection because antimicrobials means against to bacteria. The next drug is fluoroquinol. See, fluoroquinolones, if you see quinolones, right? If you see, you can remember very familiar one more tablet. Hydroxychloroquine. What is that? For COVID, they initially given the tablet, you know, can you remember? Hydroxychloroquine. Similar. Chlorine means here fluorine. Chloroquine. Here fluoroquine. Okay. Quinolones, there is quine. One more hydroxy group is added in that. Okay, right. Fluoroquinolones, also one type of antimicrobials, right? Inhibit bacteria enzyme. See, actually I wrote only two. The third one, fluoroquinone. This also antimicrobials. See, which acts the DNA of bacteria, which reacts with the DNA of bacteria. So inhibit the growth of DNA. So it will kill. It will die. Okay. Yes. What are the examples for fluoroquinones? Levofloxacin, fluoxetine. Like that, we have some more examples: clinoflexin, ciproflexin. Okay, so all are examples for fluoroquinolones. Okay, what is the uses of this drug? It is also used for urinary tract infections, then skin infection, respiratory infection. So antimicrobials having all, we have three types, all having similar uses: pneumonia, bronchitis, pulmonary infection, all are you can cure by fluoroquinolones. The next one, the fourth one, antimicrobials, tetracyclines. See, this third one, fourth one, four microbials. Sorry, fifth one also is there. Okay, so tetracyclines. So what is tetracycline? What is the action of tetracycline drug? Which inhibit the bacterial protein synthesis. Here DNA action is inhibited. Here protein synthesis. Synthesis inhibited. See, inhibitor means stop. Okay. So because of that action, the bacteria will be die. Right? So here some special unit like 30S subunit of ribosome. So bacteria, 30S subunit of bacteria is subunit of ribosome of bacteria is inhibited. So the terms also you must know that. Example, deoxycycline. Example for tetracycline, deoxycycline. The other one is monocycline, oxatetracycline, right? Okay, what are the uses of tetracyclines? In bacterial protein synthesis, that is action. Used treatment for peptic ulcer. Okay, peptic ulcer disease, infection of a respiratory disease, that is also we know that. Okay, cholera, very important. Tetracycline used in the cholera treatment, and also acne vulgaris. So all this disease you can remove or relieve from that by using tetracyclines. The fifth one, what is that? Aminoglycosides. See, aminoglycosides, one type of glycosidic, we know that oxygen-oxygen bond linkage takes place in the sucrose. Biomolecules, we may study this term. So, aminoglycosides, which binds 30S subunit of bacterial ribosome. Here also the same, 30S subunit of ribosome of bacteria is inhibited, making proteins. Here also alternative final decision or final reaction product or controls the protein production. So protein is controlled means the bacteria will die. Okay, what are the examples for aminoglycosides? Kanamycin. The next one is gentamicin. Okay, uses of that aminoglycosides. See, used to track infection, treat infection caused by gram-negative bacteria. See, we know that there are good bacteria in our body. So, what are the negative bacteria are creating some problem? That disease are rectified by aminoglycosides. The next one, antiseptics. When we use antiseptics, antiseptic, see, usually we may not use the antiseptic. If you got any wound or any skin rupture, you may use antiseptic to provide the external microorganism may enter into our body. So we want to prevent that. For that, we will apply some liquids or some other medicine that is only called antiseptic, right? It will slow the growth of microorganism. So it will stop the growth of microorganism. So what will happen? The external microorganism cannot enter into our body. Some example for antiseptic, hydrogen peroxide, very important, H2O2. In hospitals, if you go with a wound, suddenly they will pour some liquid, okay? So you may get some irritation, okay? Bubbles will come out in that wound. That is nothing but hydrogen peroxide. So benzalkonium chloride, like there are many antiseptic uses. Reduce the risk of infection during the surgery, other procedures, okay? So during the surgery, it may open our body, right? That time any microorganism may enter into that. So we can prevent that by using antiseptic. The next one is disinfectant. See, disinfectant nowadays we are using, okay? What is that? Hand wash, right? Face wash, okay? Not face wash. Like nowadays we are using all the hand wash, to prevent the spreading of COVID, okay? That like disinfectants stop slow down growth of microorganisms generally used in a inanimate object. So from the unknown object, it may not spread, okay? So we can stop that. Here also stop the growth of microorganism. Some example for disinfectant, chlorine compounds, all chlorine compounds. See, you can easily remember what is that. In that municipality water, they will add chlorine powder, okay? Then alcohols, all are acting as a in disinfectant. Then the last one is anti-fertility drugs. See this drug, we all the one may not be utilized, okay, but to prevent that fertility or ovulation, we can use that drug. Synthetic estrogen, anti-fertility drug. So here, so based on the male and women, okay, we have two types: synthetic estrogen. The other one is synthetic progesterone. See, in body itself, the both will segregate. Okay, we have to artificially use that synthetic estrogen and progesterone to control the fertility. That's why we are telling anti-fertility. Example for estrogen: menstrual. For progesterone, northinotrel or northirotrone. Right? What's the uses? It first, what's the action of this anti-fertility? See, it will affect that hormones that suppress the ovulation and fertilization. Okay, so it will react that hormones of fertility hormones. It will control or suppress the activity of ovulation and fertilization. The last, what's the use of that? We can control the birth. Then the next topic, food additives. See, food additive means, see, usually we have some food, okay. If you see in that cover, we may see that some contents, okay, what are the things are added in that. If you see, you can able to see some words like emulsifier. Emulsifier with some numbers 322, 472E, like that. And also we may see Duff conditioner. With some numbers 2 to 23. See, otherwise coloring agents or beverages, sorry, some other smelling agents, it may be added, okay, along with our main contents like oils or some other nuts or whatever we are having that. So tough conditioner or emulsifier, whether it is necessary to add in the food, okay, yes, because they are added to increase the lifetime of that food, okay, or it may prevent from the spoilage of that food, okay. If you want to control the spoiling of that food, we must apply all these agents to stabilize that food, okay, such that the substance which are not naturally as a part of the food, okay, they are not a part of the food, okay, which is not giving any nutrient value for our body, but it increase the lifetime of the food. That substance are called food additives. What are the some category of food additives? Aroma, for coloring. Aroma means what? For coloring purpose. Aroma means color. Then sweetness, we can increase by artificial sweet. Then food colors, here also, sorry, aroma means smell, then food color, 3 4. Next, antioxidants to prevent the oxidation of food. Antioxidants, the preservatives. So you want to keep for long time means we need some preservative. Next, buffering substance. The pH value, if you change, it will spoil the food. So we have to maintain the pH constant. For that, we will use buffering agents. The next one, stabilizer. We know that stabilizer for TV or fridge. Okay, so like the food also, we want to maintain the stabilization. At last, we can add artificial vitamins as well as minerals. What are the advantages of these food additives? See, you can use to use this food additive to increase the lifetime of that food, and we can prevent the spoilage of that food, and also we can improve the nutrient. Okay, some additional vitamin minerals we can add it, and also antioxidants prevents the formation of toxic nature of food. See, some oily food, if it is oxidized, it becoming toxic, so that is also prevented by antioxidants. And then flavorating agents enhance the aroma of the food. That means the flavorating, so smell comes good, you will eat more. So all these used in different kinds. Okay, next, preservative, one by one we will see, that is in the next video. Thank you.